Hi guys, it's BellaGemaNails, and today I'm going to be showing you how to design a bag. This is not just any bag. This is an adorable bag. I don't know who's going to be more excited, you or me, but the bag is precious, and let me show you. This is the bag, and this is such a tiny bag. It's 4 inches across. It's 3 inches in height. It's not going to fit much, but guess what? Who cares when it's this stinking cute? I'm going to show you how small it is. Look, here's my hand. Here's the palm of my hand. Here's the bag. Here's the front of my hand. Here's the bag. Here's my phone. Here's the bag. It's smaller than my phone, and I have an 11 plus, I think. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be working with today, and I can't tell you how excited I am, so stay tuned. For this design, you're going to need your trusted E6000. This is highly toxic. Please make sure that you use an industrial mask with it, and preferably work with it outside. You will also need your tiny little bag, and you're going to need your embellishments. These are from Amazon, and they are gorgeous quality. I'll post links down below. So I have sat the purse on top of something so it could be leveled as opposed to sloped downwards so that the glue does not slide off with charm. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be laying out charms however you see fit on the front flap. And you can kind of play with it and see what you like. I'm just going to play with placement. I have already chosen the placement of the embellishments, so take a picture so that you have a visual reference before you start gluing. You're only adding glue where the back of the charms touch the actual purse, so not all over the place. And watch the charms because they will slide. You don't want to place any charms on the top because when you move the flap up and down, it will loosen the glue. And although this is a glue that dries pretty stretchy, you still don't want to compromise the rhinestones if you set them on top. So make sure it's right on the front flap, not the middle. So these crystal clears are just fillers for where you have quite large visible gaps. I mean, they're not that large, but I don't want to have too much space between the charms. So this is what I add on top. I'm going to let this dry before I continue with my last step. So for one of the last steps that I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding chain to the actual front flap. I'm going to add it to the top and in between. And I'm going to be adding multicolored chains. Make sure you press the chain down so that it's lined flat. So basically by adding chain, you are creating dimension. So it looks like it has several layers, and that's the look that I'm trying to achieve with this. So just adding chain and charms with different heights makes sure that the bag looks like it just has the 3D effect. So the final touch was the silver chain around the pearl flower, and I'm going to stop here. Otherwise, I will add all the chain I own because I don't know when to stop. So you can see how beautiful it looks. I'm going to let this dry. I have a box of just spare chain. I never throw my chains away because I always use them for projects. So make sure you keep jewelry chains or any fashion jewelry that you have and take apart because you never know when you're going to use it. And this is a prime example of that. Let this dry. So the last step I'm going to suggest for this bag is to cover it with a top coat of clear. You're going to cover the gold and all the chain and the pearls. Since they're not real, you don't want them to peel or damage. And you don't want the chain to change colors or tarnish, so this is why we're doing this step. Try not to skip this step because it really makes a difference, especially if you live in humidity or you don't keep your purses boxed up. The chains will tarnish, so make sure you don't skip this step. I normally would skip over the rhinestones, but in this case, I want to make sure the copper doesn't turn brown. So I am painting over the rhinestones to get to the metal. So guys, you know how I told you that I don't know how to stop? I'll just add a bunch of chain. that's exactly what happened. I am filling in all the tiny little gaps with some loose chain. It's just very loose. I'm cutting it just tiny bits and pieces, and I'm sticking them in between the gaps. They weren't even really visible, but I did that on several different spaces and throughout. I did it here, here. I put one in there, one tucked in here. I did one at the bottom here. And I also did a layer of gold on top of the copper. And I did thread it throughout this pearl charm. So it just added a little pop of gold on top of the copper. So this is quite a bit of embellishing and 3D. But now I'm completely done. I'm just going to wait for it to dry, and then I'm going to coat it with clear. Okay guys, so this is the finished bag, and it looks spectacular. For the $13 I paid for this bag, it's worth every penny. I love the chain accent here, and I love how the front flap turned out. The rhinestones just give it that extra pop, and then the 3D layering effect just really makes this bag super unique. The quilted pleather is really nice quality, and I'm going to show you what it looks like inside. You won't be able to fit much in here. You'll be able to fit a lipstick, a lip gloss, your keys, your credit cards and cash, and that's pretty much it. But it is very much worth the price, and I think it'd be a great gift for yourself. Or I don't design for kids, but if you wanted to make a project for a kid, it'd be great, you know, to be able to give them a gift like this. I want to show you a bag that I designed previously, which I showed in my last video. This is a silicone bag, and this was my original mini. Now, these charms are entirely different from these. None of them are identical to these charms, but you could see that they look rather similar. I didn't use any chain in this design, and this one I definitely did. Now, I thought this one was precious because it was so small, but this one even beat it. And you can see if I do a comparison, the width as well as the height, this one is still smaller. And to be quite honest, I prefer this one. It's a lot lighter weight than the silicone bag, but you can see the side-by-side comparison. I'll post links below to this one if you haven't seen my DIY. Okay guys, I hope you really liked this DIY. If so, please make sure you give me a big thumbs up or pop a comment below. Perhaps do both. If you're not yet subscribed, I invite you to do it down below. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.